So not too long ago, YouTuber CoryxKenshin came back after a pretty long hiatus to work on his manga, comic book, basically an own original piece of art that he was really excited to bring out, sell to his fans, and when he did make his comeback, people were ecstatic. They were all over X celebrating his return, talking about how excited they were for the book, but also, of course, him making content again because I miss his content, and now it is officially out, sold gangbusters, over 200,000 copies in a week, which is insane. But of course, it's not without controversy. Welcome back to Words of Paradise. I'm your host, Leon Idol, and yes, just to let everybody know, I'm not actually familiar with CoryxKenshin's content. Nothing against the guy. I'd never even heard of him until I saw everybody on X being excited about it, and good for him and good for them. I mean, this is massive. 200,000 copies sold in the first week. But it's not without the controversy because people are oddly making this into a race thing, which I didn't see 2 months ago, and for the most part, I don't see now. So we're going to break this down, go through it, see what it is. Before we do, hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news nearly every day, and yeah, I think an original piece of media being created by a big YouTuber that's getting massive amounts of applause and accolades is pretty newsworthy. So first of all, I want to say shout out, mad congrats, CoryxKenshin. Glad to see the success because, I mean, if truth be told, this is just another Air July or Mugen Lord story where people are putting their effort into creating something new, and you gotta respect that because we love to see it. However, I did see this post attached to it. Black man makes an original story with original characters, proceeds to make record-breaking sales, quote retweets in the comments, and, you know, Nazi gif. Okay, whatever. Then they've got Precious Stone. They should make their own character and write their own stories crowd, not happy about them making their own character and writing their own stories. What are you talking about? I literally have not seen any of this, either in the recent, sales announcement, or previously a couple months ago when he came back and said the book was coming, and his return to YouTube. Like, this is one of those things where we've said we wanted to see this. We want to see creators. By the way, skin color be damned. Religion be damned. LGBTQIA, whatever alignment be damned. What we want to see is original stories that are still of high quality, mind you, come out and they'll succeed or fail on the merits of whether they are actually quality, more so than, bastardization of an existing IP. I have not seen anybody. By the way, I am one of those make their own character and write their own stories crowd for anyone and everyone, whether it be big mainline Marvel stuff or the small indie creation stuff. I've platformed many indie creators for various types of projects on my shows, and their immutable characteristics, again, be damned. So yes, I am one of those individuals that is on the, that crowd they're referring to here. And when I see nothing but success or support for the guy, this seems like a made-up controversy. Is there any truth to it? And, I mean, I guess yes and no. So before we get into what I just say on the matter, Sheepsidian, another black content creator, by the way, I'm happy to be friends with, who's working on his own original manga. Yeah, 200K is insane work. Massive props to Cory with this. I hope this becomes a mainstay in the market. Huh. Well, I've said massive props to Cory, and I'm a create-your-own-character kind of guy. Sheepsidian has said so. By the way, he's a black creator. Not that that should actually matter, but for some reason it does. Air July has said the same thing. Mad congrats to CoryxKenshin, another original, character creator, another black storyteller. Not that that should matter, but for some reason to other people it does. Even Hypnotic, the great Hypnotic, accused of being the ultimate anti-woke grifter. This is amazing to see. Congratulations to CoryxKenshin for putting in the work and seeing his vision come to life. Might have to pick this up and add to the collection, even though it's not a standard manga since it's not Japanese made. By the way, for those of you that don't know Hypno or don't actually follow his manga channel, Hypnotic Manga, check that out. Homie's OG. He's got one of the most, if not the most extensive manga collection I've ever seen. He puts your Barnes & Noble to shame. Or for you guys watching in the UK, Waterstones or whatever. Point is, if Homie is saying he wants to pick this up, even though it's not a traditional manga, that's saying something. He says, I'm still down to support original works. Same reason I don't really connect manhwa, but whatever. Great job. So, where are all these, upset people about the write your own character type? Because so far I've just labeled some pretty notable names, and then myself, about people on that side, and they're all congratulating him. So I ask, what are you on about? I've seen nothing but positivity from people regarding CoryxKenshin's book. This is literally what folks have been saying: create new IPs with new characters, do a quality job. Mad congrats to the dude. So of course, if they're going to be making this claim, we actually gotta look at the comments. We actually gotta look and see, are there people upsetting spaghetti about this? Popular personality took a series of time away from creating content online to create the series. More info. Endymion. Now, I have gone on record as telling you guys, I don't like Endymion. I think that his content is slop. I think that he very much just makes stuff up or jumps to conclusions for outrage clicks. I think that I consider Endymion a grifter. Whatever. I know that he and I share some viewer crossover. That's totally fine. I'm all about the diversity of thought. The reason I bring up the fact that I don't like Endymion is because just because I dislike him doesn't mean I can't agree with him when he's correct, and he's correct here. Nobody will buy something called a comic. The word manga has a more positive look to it, so naturally people will call their comics mangas, even if they're not Japanese, so they won't be looked down upon. I 100% agree with this. Comic books have been in such a terrible spot for the last several years. Manga is actually a far better selling point. We can get into the minutia of whether this is actually a manga or not, because that actually seems to be the main issue, not anything race related. The people that are making the manga versus comic distinction seem to be making it a race thing, and that's why this is such a controversy and why we have these ridiculous tweets calling it a race thing. But no, Endymion hits the nail on the head here. It's just better marketing. Plus, let's be real, when you think about manga, of course you think about something traditionally more Japanese anime, manga and style, looking when it comes to the art style. And yeah, that's kind of what we have here. Like, this is definitely more manga-esque in terms of art style than a comic. So yeah, I don't disagree with Endymion whatsoever. We got Red Cottage. For anyone saying, that's not a manga, that's a comic, please translate manga from Japanese to English, you'll be shot. Ah, you will be shot. So here's the dealio. I'm making a point of this all the time. I actually took a few years of Japanese, about 3 years of Japanese. That's one of those things, you don't use it, you lose it. I used to be able to speak it very casually. Now I only remember a few key phrases. But yes, the word manga does in fact, translate to comic. And there's a bit of a caveat there, though. Direct translations aren't exactly usually really a thing between Japan and America, and even so, even if they are, even if it is a direct translation, we're talking about colloquialisms here in the West. No, manga and comics aren't the same. And the reason is, manga is a specific type of comic. Just like how anime is still a cartoon, but it's a specific type of cartoon. Now, when you go to Japan, you use the term anime, that means anything animated. To them, you go over to Japan, you could turn on Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, that is anime, because to them it just means animation. However, colloquially here in the US and in most Western regions, anime is used specifically to differentiate Japanese animated products compared to Western products, or really even other countries in general. Manga is the same, but for comics. If you call something a manga in the West, you're referring to a Japanese work. Now, do I consider this book by CoryxKenshin a manga? No, it's not Japanese. It's the same way I don't consider Avatar: The Last Airbender an anime. It's not. It's anime inspired, which by all means, that's fine. It's still a good show. It still looks good. Like, there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that it's not an anime. Cory's book isn't technically a manga. Now, am I going to call it a manga? I mean, sure, it doesn't really matter at the end of the day, but to make it a weird race issue as to whether or not it's a manga or not, when really it's just nerds arguing about colloquialisms, which is fine. Like, I actually kind of love the fact that people are, is it a manga? No, it's not a manga. Dude's still raking in the sales. He's still killing it. People are still interesting. To me, this is no different than when you go to the comic shop back in the day and you'd be having arguments like Superman versus Goku or Star Wars versus Star Trek. Nerds arguing about the colloquialisms of the nerdy books and properties they're enjoying. That's good. That's fun. It's a lot better than just calling everything woke and whatnot. Someone does something they're interested in, sells it, we all see is hatred. You are truly miserable. What do you mean all you see is hatred? All I've seen so far, like I said, and shown examples of, is positivity. Not only that, but clearly you're not only seeing hatred because it is selling well. People are excited for this. Like, this is insane. They are making up this narrative about hatred. It's an American comic. Lie, it's a heckin' sugoi manga yado. Manga, the Japanese word comic. It's not a comic. Again, people are making this out to be nothing. It's a fucking colloquialism. It really is that simple. And where does it matter? Like, no one gets more upset than a white supremacist when black Americans engage with East Asian culture. The fuck are you talking about, bro? Dude, my boy Sheepsidian ends every stream with read manga. I find that to be hilarious. Now, I disagree. I'm an anime guy, not a manga guy, which is why I won't be buying this book, by the way. No offense to CoryxKenshin. Now, when it gets an animated adaptation, I'll watch it, but I don't read manga. I'm an anime guy. My boy Mugen Lord, again, black dude. JRPGs are his shit. That's his thing. He interacts with a whole lot of Eastern kind. Like, what do you mean knowing is more upset than whites? Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Dude, do you realize how funny and cool it is to know that, like, you meet a black dude, odds are he grew up watching DBZ and or Naruto or some shit. It's a joke within the anime community about how much black dudes love shonen. Just shut the fuck up. You were making this out of nothing, because I have seen one, I'll repeat, one actual racist comment about this, and we will show it in a moment. It's not manga. The manga comes from Japan. You know, Japanese. Again, the people are. If that's a manga, this is a katana. I found this one funny. Let me guess. It's some metaphor for racism. Now, again, this dude. I don't know if you would consider this racist or not. It is douchey and assumptive because they assume, okay, black dude makes story metaphor for racism. That being said, I mean, we've come to a position in time lately where that's been happening a lot lately. We literally just got that in the new recent Devil May Cry adaptation on Netflix. So it's not really off base for him to assume this, though I wouldn't personally do it. Still wouldn't necessarily call it racist. Comment on manga, predictable replies. More people should start creating their own manga. I love creativity. Couldn't agree more. Dante loves art. Wow, 200,000 must be amazing. Also, why is it a manga? Shouldn't it be a comic if it's from the USA? Shouldn't the word content change based on the person who created it and the language they're native to? So is this man Japanese? I don't think them questioning that is racist. Just asking that question, making that statement, isn't racist. Pretty sure you can't call a whiskey Scotch unless it's made in Scotland. Bingo, bango, bongo. That is actually correct. You cannot call... I mean, you can, but you would be wrong to do so. Kyle Lewis, good for him. Who cares? CoryxKenshin, respect button. So, where's all this negativity you're seeing? Story goes hard. Even sent a thank you note when I got mine. That's awesome. Where is all this negativity you're saying, aside from people having a debate about whether it's a manga or not, which there's no race relation to? So yes, I said what I said here, and somebody came at me with here's the racism right here. Word that I can't use on account of my melanin account, calling their shitty Tumblr AHA Comics manga has the same energy as that time Hillary Clinton made that Pokemon go to the polls joke. Okay, alright, well, this is racist. It's fair enough. This is straight up racist, but, the dude's a nobody. 3,000 followers, to my knowledge, not a content creator or anything like that. Like, yes, obviously you're gonna have your fucking one-off idiots on X saying some ridiculous shit, but trying to say that this is normal, man, this is the only thing. By the way, scrolling through, this didn't come up. Like, I had to be shown this. We went through how many posts just now, and there was none of that nonsense. So yes, they're making an absolute nothing burger, or they're making a massive deal out of an absolute nothing burger. The fact of the matter is it a manga? Is it a comic? It doesn't fucking matter. It's selling like hotcakes, and dude put his heart and soul, assumingly, again, not familiar with his content, but if he took all that time off YouTube to really work on this book and make sure to get it out there and appease his fans, yeah, I assume he really wanted this to work and he loved and cared about it. So whether it's a manga or a comic book, it doesn't actually matter to me, aside from it is fun to have those debates. Now, would I call it a manga? I mean, honestly, no. I might say it for, like, simplicity's sake, if we're in a conversation, it makes sense. But in general, no, I don't consider it a manga. It's manga-inspired. That's fine. Just like, you know, how Solo Leveling is not a manga, it's a manhwa. There's terms for this shit for a reason. But it doesn't actually matter, and it's certainly not a race thing. People really are jumping to make this a race thing and say that, you know, white people are upset about black people getting in Asian culture and whatnot, or it's insane, and it's nothing. So I just want to just cover this and kind of prove that it was nothing. I feel like I did a pretty eloquent job doing that, considering it was right there and everybody's faces all sourced and whatnot. And CoryxKenshin, mad congrats. Hopefully, continue success. And for anybody else out there creating shit, keep it up. Just don't do it for the money. Do it because you love it, your heart, soul. That's all I want to see, and that's what people are going to gravitate towards. Can't wait till I get my book from Mugen Lord for the exact same reason. But those are just my opinions. Until next time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I'm a nerdy news channel. I cover nerdy news every day. Not always about YouTube drama or anime and manga, but video games, movies, that Magic the Gathering, you name it. Check me out on Instagram at wordsofparadise_Leon, and of course, become a member. For $4.99 a month, you can join the Discord, choose the articles I go over on a day-to-day basis, choose the videos we react to on the reaction streams, and of course, get involved with over 180 other vital idols. We are a bright, beautiful, glowing, vibrant community that I cannot wait to grow even further, because we do care about diversity. Only one kind of diversity. Diversity of thought. If that's interesting to you, join the Discord, hit subscribe, and until next time, it is all here in the Nerdosphere. This has been Words of Paradise.